Hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone. So today, first and foremost, I am Jade Amoroso. I am a social media manager for Maverick. So today we will be joining a live with Edens, and we're gonna, talk about first-time home buyers, tips he can give, mistakes he's seen. So just stay put. Okay, so I'm gonna name this right here. Tips for first time home buyers. Put that there. Your requests. I'm gonna pin this right here. Great. Ooh, hi Edens. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
That's good. Okay, well, I was just introducing myself a little bit. I was gonna see if we want to see more people come on the live. Ooh. It's gonna be nice outside today. I
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
it feels pretty good out there.
Yeah, I saw a high at 90. I was like, wow.
Wow.
I know.
Who's going to the beach today?
Right. And I guess like for me, that's like so crazy because like I'm from up north. Up east or whatever. So, around this time, you get a little nice 60, 70,
Yeah.
but you don't get a 90.
90s, yeah.
Until
So
like July.
how long have you been down here?
Since November.
November? Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
so
definitely a big change for you.
yeah, my mom, she was just like, oh my goodness. I was like, yes, mom. This is gonna be 90. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like different for me. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
Well, I mean, go out there and take advantage of it.
Oh, I will. I was like, oh my gosh, today I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna take advantage of the sun. My friends, they're all like, oh, I'm so jealous because like up there is nice. It is nice, but not nice enough to like go outside and just be.
Right.
So I'm just like, they're like, I'm so jealous. I'm just like, well, guys, just
I
move.
mean, you can't help them. They gotta move. They
Right,
gotta move
just
down
move
to
to
Florida,
Florida.
right?
Just move to Florida, and I'm pretty sure those problems will go away. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what I really like about it because like last weekend and it was nice out and we just decided, you know what, yeah, let's go to the beach, and we ended up down by the Bonita Beach, and the water was beautiful, it was clear. So that's a good thing about living here. The options of just getting up and going to the beach when, like, right now we're in March, and some places people are still
Yeah.
dealing with the cold and everything like that. So I love it.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. My dad, he's always like, oh, let's go to the beach. And I'm just like, it's March. It's
Right.
February, but at the same time, too,
Excuse me.
it's
Right.
nice outside. Like, why not go to the beach? So it's like, I was like, wow, I'm excited. And it's supposed to be like 90 for high of 90s for 2 days and then go down to like 88, but that's still high.
Exactly.
88 so high. That's not even like it's something low.
No, it's
So.
not much that we really have to worry about. Yeah, just the big thing is just the Gators. We just got to stay away from the Gators. But other than that, we have the weather. The weather is beautiful. I love it.
Yes, and I'm just like, wow, this season is turning out to be like it's really really nice outside. I'm just wow. I took some time because working from home, I was like, let me just go outside in the backyard and just set up and just do work from home.
For sure.
I was like, yeah, you can't do this. You can't do this up north or
Not
where
in the
it's
middle of
cold.
March. Actually, no.
Not in
And
March.
now that you brought it up, because it's like for the past couple of days, like I've just been around noon, I'll just go outside and kind of like sunbathe while I do my work and everything like that. So it's been lovely. I love it.
Right. Sun.
Right.
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. Okay, so we can get started.
For sure.
Because I think we loosen up, everything's well. So again, I'm Judea, social media manager for Maverick, and today we're gonna have Edens, and he's gonna let us will help us talk through some tips that he has for us, some mistakes you've seen. This is going to be, I'm a very chill type of IG live, so we're just going to have normal conversation. So when you look back at it, you can be like, oh wow, I can take this with me, as I'm, in my home buying search. So, you know, as I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
For sure. So, good morning, guys. My name is Edens Saint-Vil with the Maverick Home Group. I am a buyers and listing specialist. So today, like Judea mentioned, we're going to go through of just a few tips that I see would be beneficial to first-time home buyers, because a lot of times we get up and we think that we may have everything figured out, and we go out there and we start working, and then that's when we realize we have to really take a step back and really put the game plan down and get that figured out. So the first tip that I would say for my first-time home buyers is to shop around with at least 3 lenders. That way you can figure out what's going to be the best rate for you. And usually I would say you have about 14 days, 2 weeks to kind of go through and get qualified for a specific amount of a specific credit, I would say. So basically, if you go around and you shop with those 3 lenders within those 14 days, it's not going to affect your credit that much, but just getting those 3 rates would be best for you, so you can figure out, okay, well, this is the person that I'm going to go with because their rates are a little bit lower. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for me to be able to move forward with that person. So that would be the first tip that I have for first-time home buyers. And then the second one I would say is to get representation, aka find a realtor that you can trust. Find somebody that's going to be able to have your best interests at heart, whether you are buying something new or you're buying a resale property. You want to make sure you have somebody in your corner that's going to be there to go over the contracts with you, explain to you the process, the timelines to get financing, the deadlines, all the contingencies and everything like that, just so you know this person is really going to take care of me and you're not out there just on your own. Right. And then the third tip that I would give is, I see this a lot. Do not go out and make a major credit purchase, whether it be a vehicle, furniture, or any type of electronics, because what that does, it affects your DTI, which is a term that we use in this market. It's debt to income. With that ratio, it basically can make or break you, because if you go and make a purchase while you're under contract to purchase a home and your debt to income ratio changes, that can ruin your whole chances of purchasing that property. So that's one of the big things that I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me before. Please do not go out and make a major purchase, because you don't want to have to walk away from a contract because now you're not going to be approved for that loan. So those would be my main 3 tips for first-time home buyers. So, Judea, I don't know if you have any questions for me specifically that we can get into.
Okay, so the one question I just had was, when you said don't make any major purchases, is that from the time that they begin to look for a house until like closing, or is it like, after the pre-qualified or after the pre-approval process, then don't do that? Or like when you're about to start looking for a home, just don't even try it.
Right. Once you know you're about to start looking for a home and you go sit down with those lenders and you're pre-qualified, from that point on, I would say do not purchase anything until the house is fit. You purchase the house and you can move on with your life and go purchase what you want to purchase, because at that point you won't have to worry about so much the debt to income ratio. I mean, yeah, you'd have to manage your finances a little bit better at that point to make sure you can pay for the mortgage that you just signed up for. But within that time, you don't want your debt to income ratio to fluctuate and that cost you to get approved for that loan, because even though you have the pre-qualification, after you find that home and you figure out what the the taxes are going to be, your insurance and everything like that. From there, the loan officer would put all those things into play to figure out, okay, well, this is how much you're going to be paying every month, and then they're going to qualify you at that
Okay.
point. And if for some reason your income changes, well, like I said, your income to your debt to income ratio changes within that time, he's not going to be able to get you qualified for that amount of the loan. So you want to make sure you stay clear, free and clear from anything that's going to stop that process. So don't buy anything at all.
Got you. I mean, and that makes sense. That makes sense because you don't want in the middle while numbers are still being pulled for
Exactly.
something to be like, oh well, this happened, and you're just like, well, I had to make it. So then it's just like, well, you may not be secure enough with your credit score and with your money and down payment to be trying to pull your numbers in like different ways without
Hmm.
really having the house in
Exactly.
your
Now,
position.
now
That makes sense.
we know things happen, and that's why I strongly suggest, because when I work with my buyers, I let them know, hey, if anything comes up, let me know so I can talk to the
Mm-hmm.
lender so we can try to figure out a solution to get it done, because we know things happen. It's life. So if anything comes up, reach out to your lender, reach out to your realtor, and let them know, hey, I just got into a car accident. I need to buy a new car. What's the best option for me? What can I do so I don't mess it up and not get this house? So those are things that are going to come up, and we just have to work through it.
Right. And I like how you're putting the real estate agent in different like perspectives, because I know some people when they're trying to, get a home, they try to do it by themselves. But when you said, a real estate agent is like a representative or your representation, it
Right.
kind of changes the perspective and, the title of who the real estate agent is, because they're like, I want you to get your best bang for your buck.
Right.
And, in certain situations, like we just said just now, what if something happens to your car? Now you have an agent who has probably seen all of this stuff. Be like, okay, this is what we can do. This is how we can, play it. This is what we can do. So therefore, you can get your home. Because I know some
Exactly.
people, they're so afraid to get an agent because it doesn't feel like a representation matter, but more of like, oh, this is just my job, instead of like, I want to represent you to get your
Yeah.
best home.
And I want to help. I really want to help you out and help you through this process, because I mean I honestly feel like we're professional problem solvers when it comes to certain, like some of these things, and like you mentioned, like I recently started working with somebody, and they were taking it upon themselves to reach out to the builders and reach out to these different people and stuff like that, and that's all fine, and you can do those things, but you want to make sure that you don't want to go out there and show the builders or show these people that you're working on your own. So at that point, they and I'm not saying that this is what's going to be
Mm-hmm.
done, but you never know, because this person might realize, oh well, this person doesn't really know what's going on, so we're going to take advantage of them. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're not fully clear, understand you don't fully understand what's going on, and
Right.
you want somebody that's going to be there to help you throughout the process and kind of look over everything with you, and just make sure you have those second set of eyes to kind of oversee the transaction and make sure we get you to the closing table and get you the home that you want and provide that service. So
Got you. And like I said, like the way you're putting it, it puts into a much positive perspective on
for
like
sure.
why having like an agent is so important in buying a house, especially for first time home buyers. And I know you and like within your career, you mainly dealt with first time home buyers. Like, what are some things that you've seen from first time home buyers? And I'm talking about like when you first, how we just said, sometimes they try to do it by themselves
Right.
and then they end up like calling someone. Like, have you ever been in that situation where they've been trying to do it for themselves and then now you're the person who is like kind of picking up where they were trying to continue on to? Or have you always dealt with clients from the first hand when they first started looking for a house?
I would say majority of my clients, it was at the beginning of the
Okay.
process. I was able to get them to the specific lender, and we worked it from there and made it happen. And I've had, I think the longest I've worked with a client I would say about 10 months from the time
Mm-hmm.
that we we first made contact and I got them to go to the lender. Their credit wasn't where it needed to be, so we had to take a couple of months to help them work through it.
Gotcha.
And then after that, like I'd say 4 or 5 months after the initial contact, we were able to start looking for properties. And then 6 months later, they had their home. So it really all depends. And recently, I just came across another client. We started talking, and he was telling me exactly what he wanted to do and these different properties that he wanted to look at, and which was fine because he was very hands-on with it.
Mm-hmm.
When he saw a builder out there, he'll call them up and find out what properties they have available, and he'll send the information over to me. So then I'll take it from there. So you definitely have to figure out what kind of person that you are and how you deal with things, and
Right.
how you're going to deal with these different types of people, because there are some people who just like to sit back and have you handle everything, and there are people who are hands-on. They're making sure they have all their facts straight. So you have to just basically learn how to work with those people. But mainly I've always worked with clients from the beginning of the transaction all the way up until closing. So, and the one thing that I noticed that, like I mentioned before, buying that car, because I just
Mm-hmm.
recently had that issue where we were closing, and then I think 2 weeks before closing, my client went and bought a car, and we're just like, okay, you should have let us know that you were gonna buy a car. But thankfully, she didn't have much debt
Right.
to get us to the point where we weren't gonna be able to close. So that was the good thing about that whole situation. But other than that, I would say, yeah, talk to your lender and your realtor as much as possible. Let them know what's going on, because you don't wanna get 2 weeks before closing and you can't close because you can't get funding. So
Right.
that's not the situation you would want to be in.
And have you ever seen someone try to rush the process of trying to get a home, where then it just ends up kind of delaying the process?
Um, no, I haven't seen that, but I know we've had to because I know I worked with somebody, and I believe they were in a lease, and when they reached out to me, and it was funny how I met them, because I was showing somebody else
Mm-hmm.
a rental property that they were coming out of. Never met them before in my life, and I told my client at the time, hey, give me a second, let me go find out what's going on with these people, because they were coming out of the home. So
Mm-hmm.
I got there and talked to them for a second. They thought I worked for the rental company that was working that was
Oh, okay.
renting that property. So I told them no. I told them I'm a realtor. Gave them one of my cards, and they were actually looking for something else to rent, because I believe their lease was up, I think within the following 2 months. So I gave them my card, didn't think anything of it. 2 weeks later, like I think a week and a half later, they gave me a call. They're like, hey, I really appreciate the information that you gave me. I want to see about buying a house. So I got them to my lender, figured out their credit score was good enough, and we literally had a month and a half to find a house and
Wow.
get them into the property before their lease was up, which we ended up making it happen, and they moved in, and still to this day they love the house. When we closed, I think in July of last year, they love the
Mm-hmm.
house, and they sent me some more customers that I'm working with. Her mom bought a house with me, so it was definitely a great experience.
Well, that's good, because I know I've heard of that, and I'm and like watching YouTube and stuff as well. And people are like, I have a month to get out, and I need to
Right,
find a home within that same period. And for me and myself, I'm just like sitting back. I'm just like, that sounds so stressful.
oh
So,
man.
having to try to pack up at the same time and then trying to find a home. And I'm just like, I could only imagine the people on the back end just like running around, trying to make the best, trying to
Right.
find the best.
And at that point, it's like you really don't even know what's going to happen, because everything is up in the air. There's so many moving pieces, because you have inspections, you have
Right.
repairs, depending on what it is, and appraisals. It's like if anything doesn't fall in line, like
Right.
you can either risk them not finding the right home at that time, and then them not renewing their lease. And if they're like, oh, you know what, this is too stressful,
Hmm.
let's renew the lease now. Okay, now everything has to be put back in the back burner, because you have to wait for another year before you can well, more like 10 months if it were to happen, because you want to make
Right.
sure you get ahead of the ball. But you'd have to wait that time to find these people a house, and it would be a mess anything falls through. But just have to make sure everything is an up and up to get it done.
I feel that. And like, what advice would you just give to like home buyers, first time home buyers, you know, especially now in the market, you know, especially that, you know, we're just seeing so much of the market changing. No one really understands, you know, what is this next season going to look like compared to last year? You know, what piece of advice can you give to them just to like ease their mind so they don't feel like they're in it by themselves?
The one piece of advice that I would say, I mean, I would definitely say be patient.
Got you.
Because with this market right now, it's very unpredictable. Even though it is a seller's market right now, but the fact that there are so many buyers out there right now, we really don't know because it's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with a couple of buyers for the past, I would say maybe 3 to 6 months, sending in offers and
Mm-hmm.
like maybe $5,000-$10,000 above asking price, and we're still not winning those contracts because there's other buyers out there that are sending better contracts and better
Right.
offers than we are. So I would say if you're going to be buying right now, be patient with your realtor. They're not just out there not doing their job. They're really, it's really tough
Mm-hmm.
out there for us to really get something under contract and get something moving. But I would say that would be the main thing. Just be patient and believe in your realtor and work with them as closely as possible to make sure you can get that house. But in that same breath, please be patient. Be patient with us.
And with that, because you know, right now it is a seller's market, as you were saying. How many homes should a first time home buyer like kind of have in their lineup, just to be looking at consistently, you know, with the agent and with the lender?
I mean, I would say about 5, at
About
least,
5.
like, yeah, 5 to 10, because you want to have a good amount of homes to look at. But then again, the reason why I say about 5 to 10 is because I've seen properties come on the market and
Mm-hmm.
I look at it within 3 hours of me telling my buyer, hey, I just saw something, take a look at it, let me know what you think, so we can either try to put appointments to go look at it or send an offer.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that we even have that conversation and they tell me, hey, you know, let's do it, 3-4 hours later, the property's off the market. So I'm just like,
Wow.
yeah, at least
So
5 to
it's
10
just
properties.
moving. Like houses are just like
Yeah,
coming
you
to us.
really won't even know, coming and going, like they're flying off the shelves like hotcakes. Yeah, it's a different market nowadays.
Wow, and you know, because you know, I'm not a real estate agent, so I'm just learning so much, and I'm just like, oh yeah, there are homes. There are, of course, so much homes, and just doing research is just like, there's homes, but there's so much more people who want to like buy a home than there are homes on the market. So it's just
Exactly.
like, oh my goodness, like I know like it's just a lot of bidding wars happening where people are just trying to understand, especially, you know, if I wanted to be a first time home buyer this season, it's just like I'm dealing with something that's totally different because my agent probably is known for like having, you know, houses that are on the market and we can get this. Now it's just like there's agents on the market. I mean, there's homes on the market, but there's so much more, you know, buyers where everything just now is just going.
Exactly.
And it's
And
just like like you just said, that one call, and in the midst of that one call where the house was on the market, now it's gone.
it's gone.
And you
And
can't
it's
even do
gone.
nothing. Like I wanted to put an offer in, well, it's gone because you don't even know how long that other person's been looking at it or
Right.
what they have to be like, let me just snatch this up because they may have been looking longer than you have.
Right. And at that point, I mean, the only thing that I would say that would work is to put in a backup offer. But then again, it's like you just kind of throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks, because if everything goes through for that first person who got that contract, then your backup offer really doesn't mean anything at that point. But
Right.
if for some reason it falls through, then you can have the second chance to try to get into that property, but then you'd have to wait 30 days before you even find out if that's going to be the case. So, yeah, like you mentioned, there are a lot of properties on the market, But because there are so many buyers, we are still at a
Right.
shortage of houses on the market,
Yeah.
and that's it. It sounds confusing, but it's like, yeah, there's a lot of houses on the market
Yeah.
to sell, but because of the amount of buyers that we have out there, we still need more homes on the market. So we just have to work through it with our buyers, and I think a lot of times too, it's teaching them and explaining to them, making sure they understand like how it's really moving and how the market is moving. That's going to put them at ease and help them get through the whole process a lot better. But we don't have a crystal ball, so we just got to play it day by day and see, and just try to go out there and win as much as we can for our clients.
Right. And I feel that. And I know like before we was like having the conversation about like more on the ends of like agents and lenders, for people who are getting a home for the first time, how important is it to have like a healthy relationship, a healthy communication with your lender?
It would be I would say, yeah, it's very important to have that open communication with your lender, your realtor, and even on the listing agent on the other side, because you want to make sure everybody's on board and everybody knows what's going on, because at any minute things can change, and you don't want to have situations where I didn't know something, or
Mm.
your client reaches out to the lender and they had a conversation and you weren't aware of that conversation. Then the listing agent on the other end is calling you, trying to find out certain things, and you're giving them an answer, not knowing that a conversation happened that completely changed the
Mm.
whole scenario. So you want to make sure that line of communication is open between all parties involved, to make sure everything is getting done properly. So that conversation, the communication is definitely top tier.
That's that. I mean that because, like I said, in researching, I'm learning so much. I'm just like, okay, like look for more than one lender. When you're first starting off, making sure that your credit score looks like this, and make sure your debt to income it looks like this. And I'm just like, oh, I told my friends, I said, if you need to buy a house, I may have some information for you, and I can lend you to an agent,
Right.
because I feel. And we did an article for the Maverick Home Group on the blog, and it's just like, it's so it's like it's a good feeling to be knowledgeable about the market beforehand. So therefore, when you're having a conversation with your agents and they may saying these like words or these acronyms, it's like, okay, I know what they're saying. I know what they're talking about. I don't feel frustrated. I don't feel like, I have to keep pushing, because then you understand what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I know like sometimes, we probably just want to like rely on the agent to basically tell us all the information without having any knowledge. But, in doing research, I'm learning that, being knowledgeable on both ends, it just makes that relationship with the agent and the lender work smoothly when trying to find a home.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's really about being honest about the whole process in itself, because there may be questions that the realtor may not have the immediate answer to, but as long as they you let the client know, hey, I don't have the answer for you right now, but I'm going to find out exactly what needs to get done so we can resolve this. So because at the end of the day, we're all still learning. We learn every day. We learn something new every day. There are different situations that come with different answers. So as long as you let your client know, hey, this is what's going on from my experience. I've dealt with it this way, but this is completely different from what I've dealt with. But I will definitely find an answer for you. As long as you have that open communication with them and you're honest, I feel like that would definitely be appreciated, and it will get the process done a lot smoother.
Right. And for home buyers, some people, they have the, well, not misconception, but they're, as soon as they look at their credit score, they're like, I can't I can't buy a home. I can't buy
Right.
a house. What can you tell those people who do have low credit scores that do want to work on them to bring it up to buy a home? Do you tell them, working on credit score first and then come back, or try to, speak to a lender or speak to an agent or someone so they can tell you, this is where your credit score is, and let's try to work it to like this number so you can get what you want?
Right. Well, I honestly, I don't push anybody away. If they come to me and they tell me, hey, this is what my credit score is like, I simply tell them, hey, this is perfect. At the end of the day, you took that first step to try to figure out what needs to be done for me to buy a house or for me to move forward in life. And what I suggest at that point is to sit down with one of my lenders, and then they'll go through their credit score and go through their credit report and let them know, hey, I know you have this on your credit score, but let's focus on these two right here to get your credit where it needs to be so you can get approved for a loan. So at that point, they know exactly what they need to work on, whether it's going to take them 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year to get it done. At the end of the day, they have a basic understanding of what they need to do on a monthly basis to get themselves up to that point for us to be able to go out there and start looking for a home. So it's really, at that point, it's really up to them to make sure they do their part. But as long as they come to me and they let me know where their credit score is at, and we're able to sit down with a professional that can pull up their credit score and let them know, hey, this is what we need to work on, and at that point we can take it from there. And that's usually what I do. So even if your credit score is as low as you may think, just go sit with a lender. They'll let you know what needs to be done to raise that credit score and do what you have to do. Because I feel like as long as you have a good paying job, you have some money to the side, the credit score can be where it needs to be for you to purchase a home. I feel like that owning a home shouldn't I guess I should say being able to get yourself approved for a home shouldn't be something that you keep yourself away from. Just even though your credit score is bad, talk to somebody. You never know what can be done for you to own that home. It may take 6 months, it may take a year, but it's possible.
See, I like how you said it, because even people my age, because I know a lot of people 24, 25, they're really trying to be like, I want to be that first time home buyer. Yesterday I asked the question on my Instagram story, and I said, at what age do you want to buy your first home? People were saying 21, and these people were maybe a little bit younger. So I'm like, okay, 20. I can hear 21 because I'm just like 21. But like some people are 21, 30, 25. But I'm just like, wow, these are some like great ages, because I know people, some people wait till like they're 40 or a little bit older. But now in this new, I guess you could say in this new generation, younger people are really trying to put themselves in places to own homes. Like, have you been seeing that lately with any clients or just like around you, where there are a lot of people within that, like that middle 20, low 30 age range that are just like, is increasing of wanting to be a first time home buyer?
Right. I mean, it's definitely different. This new generation of young adults, like, they're really trying to set themselves up to be in a better position than their parents were, and I love it, because me myself, like, I'm just at the edge of going into my 30s. Like, I'm 29 years old, so I'm seeing a lot of friends that I know getting themselves ready to purchase and own their own properties. And and one of my lenders, when he comes across people of the same age group as I am, he'll send them to me, and they're usually first time home buyers. And I'm working with a couple of them right now, 26, 27 years old, buying their first multi-family property, so they can live on one side, rent off the other side, and be able to have the rental paying for their mortgage, even though they have to put a little bit money into it. But at the end of the day, it's the best way to get started. So you own the property, then once they're able to buy their own single family home, then they can have 2 tenants living on that property, taking care of the mortgage, and also bringing in some type of income to cover the other property. So I love it. I love seeing people our age going out there and making it happen, because I'm seeing people 22 years old closing on properties and buying their first home. So I love it.
I know. It's real. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, Janae, so when we want to get this home?
Right.
When we want to get this home? Okay, so my last question is a little bit lighter side. When you're at a property and you're looking at a property, what is your favorite part of a home? Like, is it the kitchen? Is it the backyard? Is it the dining room? Is it the living room? Like, when you go into a place, like, what is the one place that is just like, I think that's my happy place?
Honestly, I've never really thought about that, and that's a great question because when I'm looking at properties, like I guess it's the whole feel of it. When I
Mm-hmm.
first open the door, if it's a open floor plan, that automatically catches my attention.
So you love
And
open floor
exactly,
plans.
I love the open floor plans, and then from there, it's gonna be the ceiling for me because I love seeing the crown moldings and
Mm-hmm.
the different designs in the ceilings, and then from there it would have to be the kitchen because I love having like an island, having the bar, either granite or quartz
Mm-hmm.
countertops and like stainless steel appliances. So I love seeing how these builders and these people are setting these things up and to make everything flow together. And
Right.
after that, I would say it would be the master bathroom for me. Like a big master bathroom is definitely where it's at.
That's nice.
I love seeing a big master bathroom with a walk-in shower and glass
Mm-hmm.
doors and probably a nice tub in the middle of the shower of the bathroom itself
Mm-hmm.
and a big walk-in closet. So yeah, those would be my favorite things about a home. And then it would be the backyard and what's back there, whether it's a pool or area to play around and
Yes,
have family over. But yeah,
that's nice. I like that. I've always said I love open floor plans because I just want to see everything. And then
right.
any place that has like a lot of like natural light,
Oh my God,
I
yes.
love it because you see this light right now hitting me. I'm
You
just like,
gotta get it.
I want in the morning time when it's sunny, I want it just to wake me up. I don't want it to be like,
Exactly.
I want to see everything. So when you said that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's mine? And I said, okay, it's definitely the open floor plan. And then it has the second has to be natural lighting,
For
like
sure.
uh a house that has great natural lighting. I
All
will be the
beautiful.
person to be a home buyer, and they're just like, oh my goodness, it
This
doesn't
I
have no
know
natural lighting.
this is not gonna do it.
It's not gonna
Not enough
do.
light.
And they're gonna be like, Judea, this is a perfect house. But I'm just like, do you see the lighting though? Where is
Right.
the lighting?
Where's the sun?
Where's the sun?
I
I
can't see
don't
the sun in
see
here.
it. I
Right.
don't see the sun. Why? And it's like, but it's nice. Um, and so, but you know, you get to learn, you get to love
For
it.
sure.
But has that changed as an agent? Has your open floor plan has that always been the one thing you love?
Um,
When you first started, like, was it always the open floor plan, or was it just something else?
I think because I think before it was really on the style of the home.
Okay,
Because I don't know. I have a thing with how like it looks from the outside. Like if I don't know. I think I like more. Um, I wouldn't say farmhouses, but it would have to look a certain type of way from me on the outside for me
got
to
you.
even want to see what the inside looked like. But
Yeah,
now it's like, yeah, the outside of the home is really it's really shaky sometimes because you'll think a home I don't want to see what that looks like, but when you walk inside it's like, oh wow, like I didn't think this home would
right.
be so big or it would look so nice on the inside, because at the end of the day you're going to be living inside of the property. So as long as the inside of the property fits
Yes.
your needs, the outside, yeah, you would make it fit as much as possible, but it's the inside that's really the key point. But that's when you walk into the floor plans and you have the big glass sliding windows to let all that natural light in, like all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff became more of a must for me at this point. So it's like
Got
when I buy my next home, it's definitely going. I'm going to be very picky as to what I get and where it's set up and the rear exposure, how the sun's coming in, everything like that. So those are all
you.
things I'm going to put into consideration before I buy my next one.
Do you think agents are more picky, or like more like pickier than like just like people who are not real estate agents?
Um, I would say some of us are, but we have to really put into consideration that we're not the ones buying these buying these homes. It's the client buying it because, like, if they don't like it, they don't like it. No matter how good we think it may look, no matter how what we may think about the area and the price range. If they don't like it, we really have no say because it's their property after all. So I would say
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Because I'll see some properties that look good, and from what my clients would tell me, hey, I want this type of home, that type of home. And I'm like, okay, well, this might be the perfect one. And I'm thinking, oh, I like this, looks good, so they might
Right.
like it. No, I don't like. I'm like, all right, moving on to the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Oh wow. Cause I can only imagine, trying to get a home for the first time. You're just like looking at everything from like a bigger picture, and then you're trying to like zoom in on other parts of it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like where does my eye go? Cause I know
Right.
for me, I'm just like I can't sit still for probably more than an hour. So just trying to find a home, you're like, okay, this part, but no, this part, no, this
Right.
part, and then it's like your finances pull you back to reality, and then you're like, we gonna figure it out in the long run. And then,
Right.
you just like pulling. And I can only imagine in that time, especially now in the market where your eyes, you know how to say like your eye too big or your eyes really
Hmm.
big, but then you have to like reel your eyes back in just to see everything in like a reality standpoint.
Exactly. And the thing about that too is, now that you brought it up, um, pictures pictures tell a different story of the home. Like, pictures
Mm-hmm.
are, you can look at a house, whether it be online, on your phone, and you think that, oh well, these pictures look amazing and this house looks nice, and you get into the property, it's a completely different story because you don't know if these pictures were enhanced. You don't
Right.
know how it was taken. Maybe these people had different lights out to make it look brighter and all these different things. So the pictures, I would say, it's just to kind of give you an idea. Okay, well, I may want to go look at this property. It's not
Right.
until you kind of walk through it that you realize, okay, well, I didn't see that hole in these pictures, or I didn't see this. So it all depends on what it is that you're looking at. Because, like I said, you can look at pictures and get a completely different story when you walk into the property. So.
Yes. I can feel that because sometimes, I just, browse at different homes. I'm just like, that looks so nice. And then I see something and I say, they really tried it. They
Right.
really tried it with this
Exactly.
picture because I know that don't look like that in person.
Right. Exactly. And then the way that sometimes, like, you get a picture taken of a room, makes the room look extra big, and
Yes.
you get in there, it's like, is this the same house? It's it's it's
Mhm.
it's bad. It's really bad.
So do you tell people like even if you may not fully feel it, still let's go look at it, let's go look
Oh yeah,
inside
for
of
sure.
it.
For sure. Perfect example. I was showing someone a house. I'll say about 2.5 weeks ago. They saw the pictures online, and I believe the property was a rental unit. They saw the
Mhm.
pictures online, and the pictures look decent online, and you didn't really. The floors looked okay and everything like that. And when we got there, I opened up the door because there was a car parked out front. And I didn't expect anyone to be there, so I told them to wait. Let me go ahead and find out what's going on in there. But I guess it was the truck for whoever was doing the maintenance, and they left the truck there. So I went inside. There was nobody in there, and I kind of walked through. And from what we saw in the pictures, it was completely different. Like the tiles were moving, like the tiles
Mhm.
were loose on the floor. The kitchen was different than what we saw on the pictures. And when
Right.
when they walked through, they were like, well, this is not what we thought. Like, we thought it was going to be worse, but it's not as bad. But there are still things that we saw in the pictures that we wouldn't have known unless we kind of walked through the property. So
Right.
that's it. Those pictures tell a different story than when you're physically there in the home. So.
Got you. And I'm always feel like I'm going back to this word when you said it, representation matters because you was able to go with your clients to something that they kind of seen in the pictures, and just to go in and just do that full walkthrough, so they wouldn't even feel like, you know, they were witnessing what they were witnessing by themselves.
Exactly.
But they had someone that's like, okay, this is what we see right now. You know, do we want to move forward with it? Do we want to back off from it? And, you know, like you said, representation, that was something that they needed at that time.
Exactly.
To feel like they were not by themselves in the process. So,
for sure. And yeah, it goes a long way. Representation is definitely like the main thing, because at the end of the day, it's our job to make sure these people are getting a good deal and they're getting into a great home. And sometimes we get a little stubborn, and we may think that, well, this is what I want, I'm going to stick with it, not looking at the bad, and not looking at those things that may come back and harm us, or bite us in the rear end towards the end. But you have to have somebody that's there kind of looking out for our best interest, saying, well, you know, I know that you like this home, but do you really think it's the one that you want to go in right now? Because the roof is about 20 years old, and you're going to have to make an expense within the next 5 to 10 years. So it's like, oh, well, I wasn't thinking about that. I just like the house. Yeah, these are things that we have to sit and think about. Like, how old is the house? Is it a brand new home? Is, like, if you buy it, are you going to have to do any major repairs? And even with that too, I'll go back to one of the clients that I had. We were going through and looking at properties. They were in the same boat of having like a month or two to move out of their current property, so they can buy this house. And they didn't. They were ready to buy something.
right.
And the first house we went under contract with, we did the inspections. Excuse me. We did the inspections. There was a couple of things that came back that needed some attention. The sellers weren't willing to do it, and it was going to be too much money for them to do it, so we walked away from it. We went for another house and got inspections done. And at one point, they got discouraged. They were like, should we even be doing this? Because I feel like we're spending all of our money in inspection. And I sat them down, and I was like, listen, I understand you guys need to get a home fast, and you need to get a home like yesterday, but
Right.
I would feel a lot safer if we spent $1,200 to get inspections done than to get you guys into a property knowing that something may happen, and you're spending $5,000-$10,000 to get something repaired. I would feel more at ease knowing that, okay, we went through and did our due diligence and got these inspections done to know exactly what needs to get taken care of in these properties before you guys go through and sign the contract and get ownership of this property, and then things starts going left and right, and you don't know how to navigate through those things. So that's how we kind of got through it. We went through and got two more contracts, and they understood it. We did inspections for everything that we came across, and we didn't sign any contract until they knew that this house was going to be good enough for the next 10, 15 years, and they won't have to worry about any major issues. So that's definitely something that you need to have on your side. Somebody that's going to look out in the long run what this purchase is going to do for you financially, emotionally, mentally, and all of that stuff. So
yes, and I love how you said emotionally, mentally, and
oh my God.
Because it can be, I can, like I said, it cannot be me at this moment, but I can, the emotionally, the mentally part where it's just like throwing you for like different wins.
You never know which way it's gonna attack you, and it's a process that's going to test some limits. It's gonna test your whole character, and but you just have to have the right person to help you navigate through it. So that would be my main thing.
Great. Oh, this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed this. I learned a lot as you was talking. I was taking notes because I'm just like, okay, this is what I need to look for. So no, this is definitely great. Ennis, thank you so much.
I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Is there any last words you want to like say to the people before we head off?
Any last words that I would say is it's all about service and someone you can trust. As long as you can trust the people that you're working with and they're providing you great service, by all means, stick with them. Refer everybody that you know to them, because if they've given you some type of service and a trust, they're going to do the same thing for the next person. So that would be my main thing: service and someone you can trust.
Great. Well, Thank you, everyone. This will be an IGTV, so if you didn't catch us live, you can definitely catch us and run it back. Again, thank you, Edens. Great conversation, and
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to see what the market has for us probably tomorrow.
Most definitely. Things are going to change, but hope it doesn't change too much.
Right, yes. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.